Today in the crypto space, we see the drip continue. Bitcoin down to about 107,000, down approximately 2%. Ethereum down 2% as well, still below the $4,000 level. And the rest of the crypto space, the altcoins, again, another sell-off, another red day. BNB, Hyperliquid, many others coming down to lower levels. And many of us are questioning, should we be buying the dip or should we be waiting patiently for a nice market structure shift of sorts? In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator. More importantly, guys, I want to talk about ZORA. Why is ZORA looking so good? So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunity. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of the volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel, click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 8 p.m. EST, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on the socials. The links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. All right, guys, let's begin. Let's see what's going on here, because we do see the negativity still. I would say that today is another little bit of a dipper. You can see more dripping. We're seeing a lot of the other stronger projects falling a little harder than usual. Guys, I released a BNB update for you guys the other day, and here we are. You know, right now BNB is not looking the greatest. I would say it's one of the bigger dips of today, down approximately 7%. And you know, as a large cap, that is right. Obviously, there's projects probably dipping much harder, but you know, based on the large cap sector that we got here, BNB is definitely taking a bigger hit than expected. Cardano also not looking the greatest, guys. It looks ugly. A lot of these projects look ugly. Let's be real with this. Really, really real. Chainlink down 23%. Who would have ever thought to see Chainlink, one of the better projects out there, larger cap, still coming down 7.3% today, guys. And the list goes on. Continue going down the list, as you can see. HBAR, okay, 7%. You know, we do have some like AVAX, another 5%. That looks like trash. SUI, another 6% to the downside. That's horrible. 27% in the last 7 days for both SUI and AVAX being at this level. They lost 25. Litecoin, another 28%, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is a real dip, right? Now, one thing that comes to my mind, and of course, the bearish thesis in the last 24 hours has become very easy to basically argue and to defend. And as a person that always looks for the opportunity to find the hardest way out, in the sense that if it's easy to build a bearish thesis, I should be working on my bullish thesis. And the only thing that I can say at this current moment, there are a couple of confusing elements of the markets, plural, in general, crypto, traditional, non-traditional markets. But what's also quite interesting to me is that we are seeing that Bitcoin did run up, and we're seeing Ethereum struggle. We're seeing the altcoins struggle. And at the same time, we are curious as to if we're going to get a capital rotation. The problem is that we are seeing a lot of these larger caps that should be attracting capital at this moment, in fact, not really attracting much. And still, Bitcoin, you know, at the end of the day, could retrace. Again, I'm going to say this again, could retrace 20, maybe 25% in a bull run. Okay, so a little bit of hopium there. Why do I say that? Because in a bull run, we do see many retracements from Bitcoin that lead to 20, maybe to 30%, depending on the cycle that you're looking at, 20 to 30% retracements in a bull run. And we get plenty of them, meaning that it's not just 1 or 2, sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 5. So what we're really experiencing could be just one of those crazy retracements before we get going to the upside. However, guys, the issue here is that we're seeing gold and silver do very, very well, which is not a traditional way of looking at markets. You know, safe haven assets usually don't run at the same time as, you know, traditional stocks do, like the QQQ or the NASDAQ and all the rest that are looking pretty good. The only sector right now that is suffering is the altcoin market. Unfortunately, but true. Okay, so we'll talk more about this tonight, guys. Join me live at 8 p.m. EST. We'll talk about all this stuff. It is definitely a touchy subject for a lot of us. Let's continue going down. We have a lot happening here. We got Athena, doing its thing, a nice little bounce, but still within range. Yes, it's an 8% bounce, but again, it's still within range, right? So something to consider. It's still nice to see green, but when the rest of the market is down, Aster could be in a really good spot. And it's not because it's only because it's a perp dex, because we also have hyperliquid. It could be because it's becoming undervalued in a big way. If you look at that chart, it looks like absolute garbage. And we can see that it's down 36% in the last 7 days, guys. That's a big dip. Okay, really, really big one. And it's still maintained a 2.2 trillion dollar market cap. That's pretty big, right? This is the reality. It's a 2.2 billion dollar market cap is pretty massive, right? In the sense, and still losing 30%, 36% of its value. So that's something to consider, right? Let's keep on going down. What else do we have here? Dips. Yeah, guys, it's everywhere, guys. Look at all this red. Still another day of drip. Another day, slow and steady. This is like torture. Instead of coming down all at once, little by little, they're peeling our patience out, bit by bit, layer by layer, just, testing our patience until we all capitulate. This is the problem, guys, is that usually, historically speaking, and even look at this, Pax Gold taking a bit of a dip here, guys. Be careful with gold being, something that of interest. I think retail is definitely flying in there. But we have to understand that as soon as the market starts to feel, okay, those feelings of emotions and capitulation, that's when really things matter. That's when we could get recoveries in the opposite direction. Okay, it is what it is, guys. The market's still red. As you guys know, I'm being very, very patient here to see what happens next so we can get active one more time to see Bitcoin get into price discovery. All right, guys, I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. But I want to talk about ZORA. Why? Because I have a little bit of an experience today, and I would love to share that with you guys. So ZORA right now is hovering around 10 cents, not bad. Okay, 0.1. At the end of the day, guys, what's more interesting to me, it's not about price, really, like the actual price at the current moment. It's its price action. Guys, despite what's happening in this market, ZORA is being held up very, very nicely. Now, I'm hoping, obviously, we all hope that it's not a unnatural prop up, but real demand from the market. Now, we know for a fact the social media game needs decentralization. Guys, for those of you that are involved in the space and know exactly how it is to be a content creator, guys, we need a solution desperately. However, from a crypto perspective, guys, this thing's been holding up very, very nice. Yeah, we can see that the circulating supply versus the max supply, about half of them more or less, okay, a little bit less, but that's fine, is pretty much out there, which tells us that, it's not bad of a scenario. Basically, we could expect that there is going to be more tokens being released, but over time. It is on the base chain. As you can see, base is the contract, so its main platform is base. And then if we quickly look what it's all about, in the sense that if you go on its socials, you'll see ZORA, launch your creator coin and turn posting into earning. So essentially what it is it's like an X, guys. It's like an X account. Let me just show you what I mean. Okay, I'll show you what I did today. We got the BTD Crypto ZORA account live today, which is pretty good because somebody, some scammer out there took it. So I was able to get it back from the ZORA team. I'll tell you this, they were very professional about it, guys, and quick. They took care of me right away. So I'm glad to, get rid of all the scammers there. So this is the official ZORA BTD crypto account, as you can see, fresh out of the oven. And what happens is that I have a market cap here, guys. I have a market cap for the ticker. You can see BTD crypto is the ticker, and you have a market cap, which basically means that there's going to be a economy okay, within Zora that will allow us to not only engage from a social media perspective, like a social platform. Let me just show you. You get what I mean? Like these people are posting stuff, AI stuff. Look at this fit check. I don't know, all kinds of different things, which tells us, we're gonna definitely have another opportunity to see some decentralization. We've had many attempts in the decentralization of social media that failed, but at least here we got some heavyweight backing in the sense that base chain, base in itself, and so on could be a great opportunity to see something like this actually, come to fruition. So Zora it is, guys. Feel free to give me a follow. I'll have links in the description if you're interested. It would be great to get some of you high quality degens all involved here to see how the platform behaves and us and all of that good stuff. So feel free to check those out. Now back to the X account, so we can kind of see what they're up to. As you can see, this is their official account. You could go live on Zora, which I'm going to be investigating for, for BTD crypto altogether to see how we can get that going. But nonetheless, that's pretty cool. Zora TV and so on, pretty interesting. You got drive by, I don't know what, all kinds. We got propaganda and Docker right now live doing their thing on Zora TV. That's pretty good. So you can tune in on live on Zora and on Twitch. Quite interesting. I'm curious as how to make that happen. Does it have to be on mobile? Could you get on in a different way via API using third-party software? I doubt that that's there, but you never know. Right? So I'm going to go check that out. Powered by Base, as you can see. They're launching creator coins in Base app. This is amazing. And again, this is another attempt to decentralize a very centralized industry, which a lot of us content creators are looking for. And I'm glad to see that the majority of the issues that are currently happening, especially on social media, is crypto related content. And to have this as an alternative is not bad of a scenario. So let's see what we got going on here. Let's see ultimately how this plays out. Software solutions is what we need. So I'm kind of looking here. We got a lot of propaganda regarding other streams and so on, which is pretty cool. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to be exploring this platform for the next little while. So again, feel free to give me a follow on Zora, see what they got going on. Let's battle test that platform to see if it's valuable and it has some good validity for us to move forward. All right, guys. I know you're here to talk about charts, so let's begin. Let's see what's going on here with the Zora chart, because for me, Zora, at the end of the day, has been doing really, really well in comparison to the rest of the market, that is. Let's keep on looking. Let's take a look at this in a little bit more detail. Now, why I'm saying that it's looking good is not because it's pumping to the moon. It's because at least it's not dumping to Hades. As you can see, the rest of the market is suffering while Zora is holding up here very, very nicely. I do not like these wicks. Let's be real about this. I don't like the wicks. I never like wick price action. Wick price action it brings the volatility, shows me that there's sell pressure. There's people taking profit aggressively here. I don't like that market maker price action. Okay, so it is what it is, but we cannot deny the fact that at least we're holding up in some sort of trend to the upside, which at the end of the day could resemble a consolidation of sorts, right? A symmetrical triangular consolidation, which usually leads to a continuation to the upside. And for me, that's good enough. Given the fact that my entry was down here, this is where I went long all the way into these levels. We got a V recovery, rounded bottom. We got the breakout. We got the expansion, and now we're consolidating. Guys, this is perfect. I'm good. I'm happy at this level, but I'm not happy, right, not being defensive. Because at the end of the day, although I appreciate Zora and I'm hoping to do a deep dive on Zora very, very soon to see what they're all about, tokenomics, the team, all that good stuff, because you guys know that that's what I do every single week, is release a deep dive video. But nonetheless, it doesn't matter. As a trader, I've done well with this entry and I want to defend my gains. And the only way to do that, well, there's many ways, in fact, but the way that I want to do it is pretty much take a bit of profit off the top and trail up a stop loss way into profit. Because ultimately, if we start breaking below these bottoms, I'm worried with the fact that we can come down for a rollover where this starts to look like a distribution. And to be honest, these wicks up here don't make me feel that confident that it's not a distribution. When you see lots of sell pressure up at these levels, right, it gives you a good indication that there's individuals just distributing, right, selling off with aggression. Right, and it's very likely that after that sell-off happens, that we go and revisit these tops once again. But at the current moment, guys, the intent with all this strength of sell pressure is that perhaps we do come down for a rollover. And unfortunately, to go in line with that confluence, we do have a slight imbalance or a fair value gap right into this level. Now, if we include more price action, it does get smaller. If we exclude this price action, you'll see that it does open up quite a bit on this impulsive move to the upside. Remember that impulsive moves tend to give you those imbalances, as you can see, these weak spots. And then again, another unfortunate fact is that if we take advantage, if we see the price action, the bears take full advantage of this, and we start to see this type of price action where we start dripping down, unfortunately, right? That happens, and they take full advantage of this imbalance, then what happens is we're going to start to see the price come back down and perhaps test the breakout zone, which was again back more or less at my entry right until this level at about 6.2 cents. Okay, 6.2 cents, ultimately would be the breakout area where Max Payne, where a lot of people went long. I went long, I built my position within this area. The average entry for me was probably around 5.6 cents. It's likely that my entry won't get tested if we do get support at the top of the range right here. But if it falls below into the range once again, there is no doubt in my mind. There is no doubt in my mind that we will touch range lows and perhaps even at worst case scenario make another lower low here. But that's the bearish case. The bullish case still stands, guys. The truth is, as long as we stay above more or less, again, I'm being more or less because there's not even that much confluence other than, maybe this bottom and this top, and we can draw a horizontal line right in there to kind of give us a little bit of a visual. Ultimately, if we stay above this level, and you can see how perfect that level is in confluence with this quick wick that that started the impulsive move to the upside pretty much in this consolidation, that ultimately that might get defended or retested once again. So I would like to see that if it comes down, that we are going to get some support right around this level. This would be my point of interest, this zone right into here. I am compelled to drag this this volume gap box that I got going on a little bit higher, but you can see that the majority of the weakness is down here anyway, even if you included all of this price action. And I tend to do one of these. Let me do this. Let me kind of show you what I tend to do when I see that because they're still very valid, and so is this area. You can tell it's still very valid. And I'm going to just double up on the boxes to the point that that area below is going to be more red, which means that that's like not only weak here, but it's also weak if we include the rest of the price action. So we're increasing more of the weakness. This in general area is a weak spot, but you cannot deny that this is a bit of a fair value zone, given the fact this is the point of control and the majority of the market participation is in this area. It's a little bit of a Max Payne area, given that that's the case, because if we roll over, there's a lot of volume, there's a lot of market participation to cause some pain, right? That's the reality. And then again, the breakout zone is also a very painful zone. Would I be getting into fresh longs right now? Absolutely not. I wouldn't be taking high risk positions at this current moment. I potentially would be considering spot, right? But I would be position sizing based on the risk associated to this rollover, potential rollover, if the market continues looking weak, right? That's the only way I would do it. Like you have to understand, you buying into an impulsive move and into consolidation and a stop loss. If you're going to be going long into spot, you can also apply a stop loss and put it right around the 8-cent zone. If it breaks below the 8 cents, guys, just note, like I said, there's a bit of weakness below to allow the price action to drop. And if it starts to roll over and drip that way, the only thing that's going to save the price action from falling further is a fat rounded bottom and perhaps another layer of confluence of market structure that we can find in this area if it does roll over. Other than that, guys, if you got into good entries, I understand if you're remaining bullish until proven otherwise, because we're still on an uptrend, we're still in consolidation, market structure has been respected, and ultimately a stop loss and again a bit of profit taken in this range just in case could give you enough of a defensive strategy that you will basically reduce that risk, get risk off, don't take that too much risk with the stop loss and a bit of profit taking, guys. That's pretty much it. Let's take a look at oscillators. This is one of the reasons why I'm a little bit hesitant and reluctant in this area, is because as you see, the price action is moving up, again excluding the wick, slightly moving up. Even if you want to consider it sideways, that's fine. Doesn't matter, it's still a divergence, whether it be class A or class C. It's still some sort of divergence, as you can see, as momentum is falling, and so is volatility. You can see the volatility line currently is not really giving us many good signals. There's Uno reverses happening right here, and it doesn't even get fully overbought. Little by little, you can see the volatility is getting weaker and weaker and weaker. And you can see that, the expansions that I got going on here are also showing weakness, and the EMAs are facing down. And also, you got to admit, guys, the market sentiment is not even the best at the current moment. So if ZORA has the power to even neutralize the price action, I'll take it and remain bullish until proven otherwise. Have that stop loss, have a defensive strategy, prepare for impact. Don't give back the gains if you happen to buy the breakout, because ultimately it could roll over. And if it doesn't, the great strategy is to just trail up the stop loss and still have that exposure for continuation to the upside, given that the overall bias is to the upside, given that it did pump, consolidate, and it might pump as a continuation to the upside. All right, guys, so it is what it is. We need to prepare because the sentiment is crazy out there, very uncertain. And if I have offered you any value in this video, do the channel a massive favor, slap the like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description. Better yet, guys, join the Discord. The Discord is where it's at. Lots of good alpha, trade setups, fundamentals, and learning material. The best part is it's absolutely free. Take care, guys, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip. Thank you.